born in America. Today is voting day. Let's just vote and let's see who wins. Can the strong man win? Can the sleepy guy win? We don't know. But all we know that if it's close, the strong man gonna take it. And it's a way for him to take it legally. That's why it's so funny. So that's why he needs to get blown out if y'all want him not to win. Because if it's close, he could legally take it. Using the Constitution is crazy, but he can't. I'm not going to elaborate on that too much. But let's move on. Alright. We talking about certain books. You know, they got value. They cheap. You can pick them up. Let's begin with The Mighty Thor. The Mighty Thor 1 is the storyline of Jane Foster, and that's the one that's making the movie. So they're following this one, you know, they're following a similar story. But Mighty Thor printed 112,000 copies plus, somewhere around that neighborhood. And God knows the indirect market, and God knows. At least to the direct market is 112,000 copies. That's a lot. But this is a good book to get, but that's a lot. So I suggest that if you do pick it up, go to your local comic book store. You should be able to farm in the back bin for like $5, $6, maybe $7 in high grade. Because online they're asking a little bit too much for this right now. Because you don't know how the movie's gonna map it out. But you asking too much for it right now. When I was buying this book, I was picking this book below cover price. That cover or below. Like I said, I like buying stuff after it comes out and then it settles, and then I'll be like, okay, this is a key. We need to pick it up, and you know, let's go to a dealer, buy 7, 8 of them, 9 of them, 10 of them, whatever, and try to pay as little as possible to get them. So if I could get once I make my decision, if I could get them in high grade to my house, bagged and board, ready to be processed, and I pay cover price, that's a good price for me. Because the book is already tested, I'm paying cover price, it's bagged and board, and it's a high grade copy. That's what these online dealers serve speculators like me. You know, they will have stock that's never been touched, you know, and they're there to sell to us. So, you know, I'll go to the comic book store because right now online, I think they're asking too much. Shipping and all, unless you order like multiple stuff and you get a deal, like you should be paying no more than $7 total. Meaning gas, meaning postage, whatever. Because 112, that's too much, and we have no idea what the movie's gonna be talking about, or she's gonna stay around all the way to Secret War, which could be a possibility. If they got Secret War, so that means that Jane Foster, this version of Jane Foster, could be around for like 5 movies. But let's see. It's a good pickup at the right price. Another book that I was looking at is Nebula. Look at this shot. Just from the movie. You know, books like this. Obviously, we know Marvel Cinematic Universe is pumping this character. They took a liking to the actress. The actress is performing nicely. And so nicely that they gave her a book. Now, why would they do this? Unless they want to push her more. This is a book that, if I'm correct, I think this book is under 15,000, let's say 17,000 copies. Wait, this book could even be printed like 12,000, I don't know. But I know it's definitely under 17. The ballpark could be between 12 and 17. This one. You know, then you got 1 in 25, you got different variation. So it's not a bad book. If you could pick up a book like this, let's say the book, what's the cover price on this book? $3.99. And let's say you pick them up at $3, $3.50. You bought other book, the guy charging you $4.50. So you getting your stuff a cover price by the time you get it into the house. That's a good investment. Because books like this, with a character that's been pushed in the main media, down the road, 15, 20 years down the road, these are books that will steadily increase. They will not go crazy, but they will steadily increase. And when you're collecting comic books, those are the type of books that I'm looking for, because all these books that I'm buying are not books to sell immediately unless the market go crazy and the prices are too ridiculous for me to wait. Other than that, I have no problem waiting 10 years for this. This is why I'm buying them right now. I have plenty of other stuff that I could process right now to sell. But I'm showing you what I'm buying for a future 10 years from now, 5 years from now. At least a 5 year, start looking at it, start processing the things that panned out 5 years. You know. Another book that people should be looking at, The Swordmasters. The Swordmaster, like the Swordmaster #1, I was looking at it, it's kind of peculiar. Because from 1 to 2, the print gap is too wide. I'm trying, like, what could have cost? That could have been like an incentive of Marvel to push this and gave it a great discount because Marvel wants it out there. The Swordmaster 1 printed 41,000 copies, like 41 and a half, 41,000 copies. That's still not a lot of copies, but I would prefer second print. But I buy first print if it's like $1.75, $1.50, because there's $4.95, and dealers got stuck with these because nobody knows about the Swordmaster. These characters were created for Asian market. You know, they first came out in a comic book called what is Sword? What was it? Warrior 3 of 3 Sovereign Nations, or something crazy shit like that. And then these are the reprint in America, and chronologically, Spanglish, #2 is his first appearance. These two books have a main story, which is the reprint of the one that they printed in Japan, in China, and then another story that is new. See, #2, I start buying #2, but I might pick up more #2 if I could get them for the right price. #2 was only printed 12,000 copies, so a second print of #2 is variant on #2. You know, will carry a lot of weight down the road once Disney decide to pump this character. So I will pick up #2 because #2s are cheap. They are beginning to disappear, but they're still cheap. And pick up #2. This is a print. This is a run. This and Arrow is a run of comics that are very low printed, but Marvel still chose to publish those comics. And if they're choosing to publish those comics, that means that they are pushing those characters. They just waiting their time. I will pick up a Swordmaster. God bless you. This is another episode of Spanish Man TV where we talk rise about comic books. You know what I mean? Right here, so. You know. Hey, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. The 071 base seller of CG graded books.